Chase and Boscola. 1-800-728-5898.
Why Chase and Boscolo?
We're lawyers that care.
Traffic on News Channel 8 is brought to you by Toyota.
Toyota is a Reader's Digest most trusted brand. Take RAV4 with a 5-star overall safety rating, available all-wheel drive, and plenty of room for your life's adventures. Now lease a RAV4 for just $199 a month, or buy one with no interest financing for 5 years. 90% of RAV4s sold in the last 10 years are still on the road. That's Toyota dependability. Just ask a friend who drives one. Toyota, let's go places.
From News Channel 8, you're watching Good Morning Washington.
7:33 right now as we continue this very, very, very busy Thursday morning. I'm Larry Smith.
And I'm Autria Godfrey. An update for you this morning. We are just hearing from Prince George's County schools. They will be closed today altogether. So you can add that one to the list. We do have all of your school delays and closings scrolling at the bottom of your screen. We also have an updated list on our website, WJLA.com. Now to the roads. Let's get out to John Gonzalez. He is in Mobile Track 7, seeing how things are looking right now. Johnny G.
Autria, we're back in the car. We're back inside Mobile Track 7. We just left the accident we were talking about half an hour ago, that small car that smashed into that Metro bus. The good news is no major injuries there. It's all been cleared up. The lanes have reopened. But take a look. This is the access road here that runs along Connecticut Avenue in Wheaton, Maryland. We are heading north on Connecticut Avenue, heading toward Aspen Hill, and Mike's going to actually veer onto Connecticut now. And you can just see how white the surface still is. I mean, this wasn't a huge snowstorm by any means, nothing like what we're going to see tomorrow and Saturday, but it's just so cold, and whatever fell quickly froze and created those icy conditions, and that's what we're dealing with. This entire section of Maryland, Montgomery County, was under a code red from 6:30 last night until 2:30 this morning, and even though that has technically been lifted, there are still some very treacherous roads out here. And again, we just saw it up the road on Weller in Connecticut. We had that accident, and a lot of folks telling us that they are just taking it very easy today, getting a late start to work, and obviously the schools here in Montgomery County are getting a late start because a lot of these folks didn't expect this. Even, the state highway folks saying that they were caught off guard. Not a whole lot of pre-treating went on here in Montgomery County last night before the snow started falling, and once the snow did start coming down, that's when the salt trucks started mobilizing, and, at that point, it was pretty much too late. They said that at that point, the salt trucks were stuck in the traffic, in the mess, like everyone else was. So it's been a bit of a challenge, and of course not the way we wanted to prepare for what's going to be a massive storm tomorrow, a nasty round one, if you will, but maybe it just kind of gets us ready for what's going to be a really ugly weekend for us here in the D.C. area. Autria, Larry, back to you inside.
Okay, John, hey, thanks for that. From last night to this morning, many parts of the DMV are still dealing with the effects of yesterday's snow. Our Sam Sweeney is live right now, giving us an update. Sam, you've been in Mobile Track now since 4 a.m., getting out and stretching your legs, I can see. Any improvement right now on the roads?
Larry, really no improvement here on the outer loop of the Beltway, and I'm stretching my legs in the middle of the express lanes on the outer loop of the Beltway. Take a look down there. You can see that truck with the flashing lights. It's reversing down the hill. This is the problem. The snow came in, it quickly turned to ice. Well, this hill part, it just became clogged with traffic. They couldn't de-ice it. They couldn't lay salt down. This morning, this is their struggle. They're reversing down and they're dropping the salt backwards, and they're freeing up the traffic. If we can go over to the local lanes, you can see the traffic here, just a few cars getting by slowly, but still these tractor trailers are all on the side of the road. They've been here since last night. The drivers, it's what's called, they timed out. They're only allowed to drive a certain number of hours per day. They had to pull over and the rest this morning. Now, if we can spin around here, you can see this emergency patrol vehicle here. He is blocking traffic as they de-ice this area, the outer loop of the Beltway, just off of the Wilson Bridge on the Prince George's County side. These tractor trailers have been waiting for hours. There's cars behind there that we spoke with. One man told us he's been driving for 12 hours. Another lady, I asked if I could interview her. She says, I look like a disaster. I've been sitting in my car for 13 hours. I'm going to pan down to the street here. This is the shoulder, but you can still see it's covered in snow. snow. There's a lot of black ice. I was talking to some of the emergency responders here, and they said, look, a lot of these people who have SUVs think they can drive in these icy conditions because they have four-wheel drive. Well, the four-wheel drive doesn't help when there's black ice. You're still slipping and sliding. This is Mobile Track 7. It's a Subaru all-wheel drive. We were no match for that black ice either. If you're headed out on the road, use caution, and please avoid this portion of the outer loop of the Beltway 495 near the Wilson Bridge. That's the latest live here on the Beltway. I'm Sam Sweeney, ABC 7 News. Audrey, Larry, back inside to you.
All right, Sam. We'll stay warm until you get back in the car there. 7:38 right now. Odds are by now that you've seen what the roads looked like last night on Facebook or Twitter, or maybe even lived through it yourself.
Yeah, so if you were to get stranded for hours in your car, like we just heard Sam mention one lady did, do you have what you need on hand? Our Jeanette Reyes is live at the Midas in Arlington with some tips to keep you and your family safe. All right, Jeanette, what do we need to know?
Yeah, Austria, we went through a list of things. We said food, flashlights, batteries, things like that. But, you know, it's so hard to escape the images over the past 24 hours. People stuck on the highways, their cars stranded. And I know when I looked at the TV, I said, ooh, I need to get my car looked at. So that doesn't happen to you. So tomorrow would be the big day that you need to prepare for. Joining me again is Chris. And Chris, you showed me something really cool. If you're anything like me, my dad was a mechanic, and I still get a little antsy when I go to mechanics, and I want to make sure that they're not lying to me about what I need to get fixed and I don't lose hundreds or thousands of dollars. So this is kind of like a little DNA kit, and it tells you exactly what's wrong with your car. Exactly, it's kind of like proof that this is what's wrong.
Is, you know, especially for the winterization, you hear that word, it's, oh, what did I get done? Coolant is #1 fluid on here. Testing the coolant finds out basically the condition of it. This will show, you know, detailed of why your coolant needs to be flushed out.
Yeah, and for the most part, the darker it is, the sooner you need to get it done. Right.
Every vehicle is different, so, you know, going off of the factory standards is the way we would go about that. Different kinds of coolant per vehicle.
Gotcha. And here you have the motor oil, gear lube, everything here. And then you basically just hand this to the customer and show them, hey, this is the visual proof of what it is that you need to get done. We mentioned batteries. That's another big one.
Battery, this is a way to test the battery along with the charging system. This is part of the winterization that all shops do. This will basically tell you if you need a new battery or not. There's no way to look at it without one of these things right here.
Yeah.
So that's part of the service we'll do for you. And tires also, we keep going back to that, but that's very important winterization thing. At least having the tire pressure adjusted, you know where you're at with them.
Gotcha.
So those are the three main things for your winterization right there.
And one thing I should mention, Chris and I were talking about this. I said, hey, so you can do a lot of this stuff yourself. He said, no, most of the time it's best to come in and get it checked out because things could go wrong. If you can go to a mechanic, go to a mechanic, get it checked out, because you could end up costing yourself thousands of dollars. I don't know what's worse, being stranded or ending up having to pay $1,000 in getting your car fixed. They do have time today. Come in today, get your car checked out. They close at 6 o'clock this evening, and hopefully you'll be safe if you have to and must head out tomorrow. I'll send it back inside to you, Altria.
Don't get stranded. That would be worse, Jeanette. Pay that money. Go ahead and get it set up now. Well, many drivers are furious this morning over not only the response to last night's snow, but the over-preparations for it. Our Jumi Alabanji joins us now with that. Jumi, what are folks saying?
Oh, well, they are not happy. As you mentioned, Autry, on Facebook and Twitter and to our news cameras, you are demanding answers as to why last night's commute turned into this morning's commute for so many drivers. Just a short time ago, we spoke with D.C. City Administrator Rashad Young, and here's how he explained to me why things went so wrong so quickly.
In this storm in particular, where we expected a ½ inch to an inch of accumulation over a 2-hour span, really turned out to be a 1.7 inch accumulation over a 6-hour span. And so what we prepared for versus what happened in actuality, this storm overperformed the expectation.
All right, well, there you have it from D.C. City Administrator, that is. Our Julie Wright also spoke with folks from Maryland State Highway Administration. They pretty much said the same thing. One group we haven't heard from, though, this morning is VDOT. Still waiting for them to return our calls, and when they do, when we get those answers, we'll make sure to pass them along. All right, well, more weather traffic news coming up here on Good Morning Washington. We are under a winter weather alert, and we've got more of our coverage coming up after the break.
Traffic on News Channel 8 is brought to you by Kia. The Kia Sportage and Kia Sorento. Two great choices for any season, with available fully active all-wheel drive. Plus, the 2015 Sorento was named the highest-ranked midsize SUV in initial quality by J.D. Power. while the Sportage all-wheel drive earned a 5-star crash safety rating, giving you peace of mind all winter long. Now get the Sportage and Sorrento with 0% APR for up to 6